It's a really good question. What policies do we need to adopt? For me, I really struggle with separating out policies for women versus policies for men, because I just see we need to create a culture which is inclusive for everyone. So for me, there are elements around, of course there's code of conduct, those sort of elements. I mean, that if you want to go into the HRE type stuff, the hybrid working, that applies for everyone. I think, where we hold the meetings applies for everyone. I do feel that sometimes for women it can be harder financially to do these roles. And I think one of the big challenges that in most sports, not all sport, but I would say the majority of sport, the board roles are voluntary roles. And if you want people to be able to step forward, women to be able to step forward, then actually you might need to start to offer some low-level fees. Because I think otherwise you're just always going to end up with the people who can afford it, who aren't necessarily representative of the community that you want and need. I think it's not a policy, but I do think inviting people to do upward mentoring, for example, so that people have an understanding of what it's like to be. I know this is about women in sports, so forgive me, but I don't care whether it's women in sport or transgender or whoever, but sometimes it's good to understand and walk in the shoes of the people who you're trying to bring up, or else you just end up cloning what you've got. So I think for me, the most important thing for me is genuinely trying to create the accessibility by ensuring you've got the right person coming through, rather than the person who happens to be able to afford the time and the money to be there. And I know that's not a policy and procedure, but personally I feel that's really important. I mean, I'll give you an example. So I went for an interview. I won't say what it was, but it was a sports organisation, the chair of a sports organisation. And the interview was in a beautiful office down in London. I live in the northeast. And as I was leaving, the chair said, would you seriously take this role? Would you seriously come down from the northeast to here to do the role? And I was like, well, of course I would. That's why I put myself forward. That's why I've come for the interview. And I was fascinated. I was thinking, well, if that's your mindset, then you're only ever going to have people who are from from the M25 region ever going into these roles. So I do come back to, for me, the most important thing is it's ensuring that anyone who wants to and has the talent to can afford to do it. And I think that's a bit which people don't recognise at the moment.